It's time to hit the jackpot because you're listening to How to Bet, hosted by Daryl Sean and Sean Miller, breaking down betting into 4 categories to help you stay ahead of the game, sharing their thoughts, opinions, and analysis on how to bet it, where to bet it, and who to bet on. Now here are your hosts, Daryl Sean and Sean Miller.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to How to Bet or HowToBet.com podcast. I'm Daryl Fine. He's Sean the Genius Miller. Another week in the books. And remember to go down to those comment line, hit those, put those comments in. Put those comments in. Ask for merchandise. We'll send you out swag. Comments can be good. They can
Roosevelt
be bad.
Wilson.
Roosevelt Wilson's getting some swag. The man with 2 presidents' names getting some merchandise.
It's almost President's Day.
Yeah. We'll go down a little further. The description box. That's right. The description box. That's where you're going to hit those links and look at Sean the Genius Miller's previews, updated injury reports, odds, and exclusive offers to sports books around the country. Get there early and often. Again, HowToBet.com. And we like to welcome in our special guest today, Nery Rodriguez, Fresh Cookies. Nery Rodriguez for Fresh Cookies. You can find him on Instagram at Fresh Cookies Show. And he got a little good thing going there in Jersey. We're going to try to get him even more viewers. He's got this little niche that he created here. And welcome, Nery. Thanks for joining us here on HowToBet.com.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's a pleasure. Love what you guys do. Definitely helped me out a little bit.
And there he's got the windscreen. He's got the fancy chair. I want that chair. I like that chair.
Oh, look at that. Patriots.
Patriots. Got my New England Patriot team there. Yeah, good. Good for Nery. Hey, Nery, it was a crazy week. Great games, but Sean and I have been outstanding all season long. We've really been killing it. I mean, if you watch this show, then we've been killing it all season long. But last week we did not do well. How did you fare last week?
I would say I was about 1-4. Just based on from what I've seen from a lot of other people, it kind of seems like it was the same scenario. I don't think anybody could have predicted that underdog weekend we had. Really, the last 2 weekends. Really, I only got that Chiefs game right. So, not the greatest weekend, but it was still an awesome week of football.
Yeah, we did well with the over-unders. That was about it. It was a tough week. It was a lot of very curious coaching decisions led to it. Sean still doesn't think we deserve any.
I'm not taking any blame for this game. I'm not taking blame. Losing. I'm not taking blame for the Tampa Bay game, Todd Bowles. What are you doing? Just don't let him get to the sideline. The game's over. You go to overtime. Tom Brady wins the game. They probably go to the Super Bowl. I'm not taking any blame for Ryan Tannehill. He's atrocious that game. I mean,
And I'm not taking. Why would you kick the ball in the end? Why wouldn't you squib kick it and take off 7 seconds of clock?
I'll take the credit for that. My Super Bowl team is still alive.
Yes, mine was the Packers. I bet the Packers about 8 weeks ago at plus 400. They're gone. Aaron Rodgers, not a good showing once again in a playoff game. All right, so let's get to it, Nery. There's 4 teams left. The underdog here is Cincinnati at plus 750 to win the championship. Can you make a case for the Bengals? Because if the Bengals do win this week, certainly nobody could say there's no chance they win the Super Bowl. So can you make a case for Cincinnati here this Sunday?
Yeah, well, listen, even though they're an underdog, top 3 offense, one of the top 3 offenses in the entire league, and the other top 2 are still in the dance, the Chiefs and the Rams. Listen, that, like I said, that offense, just so many hitters, a lot of young guys, a lot of fresh talent. They're going to attract some free agents for sure. I think, first and foremost, they have to protect Joe Burrow. I mean, there's no reason Joey B's hitting the turf 9 times in a playoff game. And for them to come out with the dub in that aspect is incredible. But really, their biggest thing is going to be exploiting, the Tyrann Mathieu injury. So I think if, like I said, it's really going to depend on the Kansas City defense. We know what their offense is going to do, but, can they protect Joe Burrow? Can they get to Chris Jones and contain that defensive line? And also, like I said, exploit them not having their senior defensive leader out there. I am still going to take the Chiefs in this one, but it's going to be close. It's going to be close.
You know, I know you're a player prop guy, so am I. I love to play player props. I do pretty well with them. I see numbers that are, to me, a little skewed. Again, Vegas doesn't make a lot of mistakes, but here you have Joe Burrow, 281.5, Patrick Mahomes, 284.5. I got to believe that this is an aerial attack by both sides. I'm looking for some points being scored in this game. What do you see with those numbers? What do you like?
Well, when it comes to Burrow, I don't know if he can cover the over, but I am going to take Mahomes on the over for passing yards. I have one of my prop bets already made up for the weekend. So I'll definitely take Mahomes, but when it comes to Burrow's case, like I said, that offensive line is a little sus. So I just don't think they're going to have the I don't think they're going to have the willpower to run the ball. But, with that being said, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to change my pick. I'll take both of them.
Yeah, I think
for the over on passing yards. I'm not going to take Mixon on rushing yards this week, though.
No, I think that they're going to have to go to the ground a little bit if they want to win this game. But Sean, the last time these two teams played, Burrow went off.
Yeah, 446, I think. 4 touchdowns. Jamar Chase had a monster game. 11 catches, 266, 3 touchdowns. It was 34-31 in a game Cincinnati had to win. I mean, it was week 17. It wasn't a game, both teams weren't trying to win. I mean, That's the Kansas City's only loss going back to October 24th. And Cincinnati had to win that to win the division, it turned out. So they did. They won the division in a game they had to win. So threw a lot of yards, but Kansas City was a little banged up there, so maybe they get some players back here.
Nery, I have to ask you because I'm older than you. I'm a lot older than you. Sean's young but older than you. This is new to the world. This online gambling. You can bet from your phone. How has it impacted guys of your age? Younger guys obviously have to be 21 or over to do this. Again, if you have a gambling problem, seek help. There's help out there for you. And we always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. Don't go over your means. But how's it impacted guys your age? Have you seen a lot of people playing? I say guys, girls. Have you seen a lot of people playing? Betting on sports?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, however long ago this was passed, within a year's time, I never thought I would be placing bets, just because back in the day, the only time I ever heard of people placing bets in New Jersey was going, to the racetrack, or you're down in AC, something like that. Now that it's just on your phone, there's so many options: DraftKings, FanDuel, Caesars, even Barstool. So many different options. The appeal is there. There's so many different, tools to kind of, like sharpen your mind and especially with shows like this, there's just so many outlets to kind of build your repertoire and learn a couple things, and it's. I remember hitting my first bet, and I thought, it's just a prop bet. And I believe it was for Brady to score a touchdown in a game, and it was like plus 500. And I was like, oh wow, you see the money right there. It's like my brother said. It's like my brother says sometimes also, where there's people who play the lottery every day. You kind of have a better chance of winning money. It's something like this. At least you could study. There's a little bit of strategy there. So the appeal is definitely there.
Yeah, I mean, there's money to be made. Some people do this for entertainment reasons. Some people do it to make money. Either way is good, as long as you don't, go over your means. And there's a lot of, when you go to howtobet.com, look at these, various sports books around the country. There's a lot of promotions that these sports books have that are, they're giving you free bets. I always say take advantage of these promotions. Take the free money and try to, score. Even if it's a little bit, again, a lot of people do it just to have fun and make a few bucks.
Yeah, absolutely. The Super Bowl's coming up. It's a great time. I'm sure they'll be running a bunch of promotions.
Yeah, absolutely.
But even, it's not even, it's not even just exclusive for males. I see a lot of female bettors getting into it as well, because it's just, if you watch enough games, why can't you predict some of this stuff,
Absolutely.
So it's just,
I mean, we always think of it as a male-dominated industry, and but you're right. There's no reason you don't have to be a man to bet. That's for sure. And a lot of it's open to everybody at this point. I know that there's more females getting involved with the fantasy leagues and things like that. I think it's great. So before we let you go, tell us a little bit about Fresh Cookies, and then give us a couple prop bets if you have any player prop bets that you're looking forward to.
Yeah, so Fresh Cookies, the name I'm a multimedia journalist in New Jersey. I cover high school sports, but I shoot, edit, voice all my own sports highlights. One of my signature catchphrases is Fresh Cookies, and it's just slang for a takeaway, fumble, interception, steal, anything like that. So when I was just after a while I caught on, and when I was going to these games, the kids were yelling it at me. So the idea I had behind my channel is to do my own kind of Sports Center type deal. I want to call my own highlights. It's just I realized, why wait for somebody to give me an opportunity to do the NFL? Rather, I would just kind of take the initiative and do it myself. So what I'm just trying to do is give people some different commentary, and a lot of thought goes into the show. There's sound effects, there's pictures, things of that nature. So there's a little bit of everything for people, I like to think, and I'm always open to suggestions. So follow Fresh Cookies highlights on YouTube, and follow Fresh Cookies Show on Instagram. Now, as far as this weekend goes, like we were saying, I normally do like leaning on player prop bets and things of that nature. And I'm definitely going to take some this week. But I am interested in money line this week. Good. And that pertains to the 49ers and Rams. So, Niners plus 146. In our earlier discussion, Sean was just saying, San Fran has really owned the Rams in their last couple matchups. So I do like their chances. I'm looking at that. I'm going to take the Niners on the money line. I'm also going to add Odell, Cooper Kupp, and I have my last one on Odell, Cooper Kupp, and George Kittle. So you're looking at about $346 on a $10 bet. So yeah, I'm gonna take them. And then as far as the second game goes, I still have to go with the Chiefs in this one, since he's plus 270. I don't see Kansas City winning by 7, so I'm not going to take them on that. But I am going to take them overall. And then something to consider that I'm probably going to throw in there is going to be Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and Jamar Chase. So
anytime
a little bit of a
touchdown.
smaller bet. Yeah, anytime touchdown scores. I'm sorry. And I'm also going to take Pat Mahomes on the over for passing.
I like it.
Now that we're having this Joe Burrow discussion, I might have to make this into a 5-legger possibly. But without Burrow, it's plus 937. So you're looking at about
good return.
$93 on $10 bet.
Yeah.
So that's really what I got so far, in the chamber.
All right, good for you. It's a good bet, good value, good money value there, good return on investment. Thanks again, Nery Rodriguez, for joining us here on HowToBet.com. We will talk to you down the road, and good luck this week with your bets.
Appreciate that. You guys do a great job. Sean, I'm sure I'll run into you soon, man.
Yeah,
always
definitely.
A pleasure.
Thank you. Yep.
Thanks, Nery. Hey, remember to go to HowToBet.com. Hit that subscribe button, the like button, notification bell. Hit that subscribe button. You watching us on YouTube. Leave comments. And, of course, go down to the description box. Click those links to HowToBet.com. You're going to see previews from Sean the Genius Miller, along with odds, updates, injury reports, and exclusive offers to various sportsbooks around the country. When we come back, our Parlay Power Plays of the week. Yeah, we're still doing it. We're creative. We got real creative. HowToBet.com coming back after this.
Let's go.
Welcome back to How to Bet, hosted by Daryl Fine and Sean Miller, giving their thoughts, opinions, and analysis on how to bet, where to bet, and who to bet on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to HowToBet or HowToBet.com podcast. I'm Daryl Fine, along with Sean, the Genius Miller, and it is time for our Parlay Power Plays of the Week. Remember to go down and on YouTube, leave comments. Ask for merch. We have merchandise. We have the swag. So if you want, Emily, we get a shot of that. So we good? You need me to move that? Here, I want to show everybody the fancy. Are we good?
Yep.
All right, cool. The fancy merch we have a lot of stuff. We have hats, shirts, water bottles. We get a lot. So anyway, ask for merch. We'll send it out to you. What was the gentleman's name? He had two presidents' names.
Roosevelt
Wilson. Roosevelt Wilson's getting some merch.
Give us your address, Roosevelt.
Yeah, we do need your address. So email that or send it to us at howtobet.com. And of course, go down a little further to the description box. Click those links. That's where you're going to find Sean the Genius Miller's previews, injury reports, odds updates, and exclusive offers to various sports books around the country. So get there early and often at HowToBet.com. It is time for our Parlay Power Plays of the Week. We did not do well last week. Admittedly, we did not do well. We've had a hell of a year. We really have an incredible year, documented, record-setting year. It really has been. But we did not do well last week. We did well with our over-unders, very well. I was perfect with my over-unders. Sean was 2 of 3, 2-1 last week with that, but we did not do well with our other bets, and we admit it. So this week we're going to make our comeback, and we had to be a little bit creative here. So Sean, you begin with your Parlay Power Play of the Week. I happen to know it's pretty creative. Go.
Yeah, definitely. I'm watching the game the other day. You just saw Tyreek Hill catch that ball.
He's a little bit fast, that guy.
I said, man, I wish I could have his speed for a couple days just to see. I mean, he touched the ball 3 steps and he was gone. You could see he was going to score there. He turned that corner. So he's a bad guy, but, whatever. He's a pretty good football player. He's just, just electric when he touches the ball.
Yes.
So I think they're going to try to get him.
He didn't have a great year this year. I think that's why the totals haven't been extremely high this season. Mm-hmm. He didn't have a great year, but he certainly looked great last week.
Yeah, definitely. And, they're getting in the ball, and I think so. I'm going to put him, Tyreek Hill, anytime touchdown score in that game. And then I used Fox Bet for this, but once again, you could probably use, whatever one you want to use
FanDuel,
here. Kansas City -6.5 and over 53.5. They were kind of as a thing. You click them together. So you got the Tyreek Hill anytime touchdown, the over, and the -6.5, so it's under a touchdown, and you get at +355. So I'm going to take a chance with that.
So +355, that seems like it could happen for you. So that's a Tyreek Hill touchdown, anytime touchdown. Kansas City -6.5 over Cincinnati, and over in the Kansas City, over 53.5 in the Kansas City Cincinnati game.
You could probably even put Jamar Chase in there because I think the Bengals are going to score some points, but I think you could probably add him.
He had a pretty good game last time these two met.
Tyrann Mathieu might be back. He's questionable for this game, so he's going to play. I think he's going to play, but if he's back, I think that's massive for the game as well. Just once again, you have to go to howtobet.com and go to the stories that are up there. Yep. The conference championship stories, and then the odds links. They're all here. Yep. You'll see those links.
Injury updates.
Yeah, you got to check the injury updates. As you talk about your game, 49ers right now, Trent Williams, ankle sprain. Jeff Wilson Jr., low ankle sprain. Deebo Samuel has a knee injury. So, those guys are probably going to go, but they're not going to be 100%. And it's going to be the same thing with the Bengals. The Bengals got a bunch of guys banged up here. So a bunch of defensive linemen, Josh Tupou, Cam Sample. So they're both questionable. They're probably going to play, but
everybody this time of year is a little banged up, if not a lot banged up. But you gotta lace it up and go.
Cincinnati's got a couple guys on the COVID list right now, which is a little bit crazy.
Crazy because I thought they stopped testing.
Cam Sample is one. Yeah.
So my Parlay Power Play of the week, I am going to go. You heard Nery Rodriguez earlier in the show. Well, he and I are thinking alike here. I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers on the money line. I think history tells us that they have their number. He is, in my opinion, and we've talked about coaching mistakes. I mean, we really, it was really a big focus for us on how many mistakes these coaches made last week on the losing side. I think the San Francisco coach, Shanahan, I think he is the best one left in this mix. So I'm going to, that's part of my factoring this in. So I'm going to go with San Francisco on the money line. I'm going to go over 46 in that game. And then I'm going to finish my parlay power play up with Deebo Samuel. I think he'll be involved with both running and receiving, but I could see him having a short passing game that results into some decent yards, and I'm only looking for 55.5 to go over 55.5. So that is my parlay power play of the week. San Francisco 49ers on the money line, over in that game, and over 55.5 receiving yards for Deebo Samuel. So that's my parlay power play of the week here, Sean. We had to get creative, and I think we did.
Yeah, I was looking at those games and flip-flopping back and forth between the 49ers and the Rams, and just looking at those injuries. Are you a little worried about those?
I think especially a guy like Deebo Samuel, I think, when the kickoff comes, he'll be ready. He's been banged up for weeks now.
I think more of the issue is the Trent Williams, the tackle. I think that's a problem.
That scares me a little more, but they've shown that they've had some depth this year.
Yeah.
They run the ball. Look, San Francisco with Mitchell, Samuel, we've seen it for a few years now. They really run the ball well, whether it was Hasty and Wilson or Mostart. They really like to run the ball. They do a good job. And it all starts up front. So I don't think it's going to be a huge issue, although you obviously rather have them. I'm talking about Williams.
Yeah, and I think, you look at Los Angeles, and they're probably the healthiest team left. I mean, you look at their thing. I mean, they just don't have a lot of guys. Got some questionable guys, but it's some backups and stuff. So, I think it's going to be interesting. And just looking back to that last week, the last weekend of games. I mean, which were you more disappointed in? The Packers or the Titans as the top seed losing?
Packers. Titans, it didn't shock me at all. I had them, but we didn't know how Henry was going to be. Tannehill was worse than I could ever imagine.
All he's got to do is not throw 3 interceptions, and they're in the championship game.
Yeah, Vrabel wasn't very good either as far as making decisions.
This guy, man.
I wasn't shocked. I was a little stunned that Green Bay went down again. I had them. Look, I bet them to win the Super Bowl 8 weeks ago at plus 400. Yeah, I was surprised. Rodgers again does not come up big in a playoff game. I think
4 losses in the playoffs.
I think the
to
guy's
San Francisco,
incredible.
And they, he won a Super Bowl back in 2011, but since then they've been awful in the playoffs. They haven't even got back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and the coaching there was not good. It's.
Who would you, if you're the Packers fans, would you rather keep the coach or the player? The Rodgers? Or the
I got to keep Rodgers. Look, Rodgers is a great player. He's just not. He hasn't come up big in the playoffs.
I think
they're
going to tear it apart.
The special teams. Look, if you're a head coach and you know your special teams have been awful, and it has been documented awful, make a change, do something different. But they went right into that game.
Let me tell you something.
That was a killer.
That punt block was absolutely unbelievable. But the play the guy made, because he's getting mugged on the play, and he just put his hand up. And you see, as soon as the punt gets blocked, everybody's looking up for the ball. But at that point, you're like, you know what?
I think the one even bigger was the blocked field goal at the end of the half, which gave San Francisco momentum and less points to come back from.
Yep.
But I think that was a huge play there. And look, I think it's time for Crosby to, get going too. He's been there forever. A great kicker.
Yeah, they're about
one of the best
$50 million over the cap, I think, or something like that. $44 million.
Yeah, they're going to have some issues.
Yeah, they're going to have some.
They're going to have some issues.
But that division stinks.
But yes,
it's like
stunned.
The NFC least.
I was more stunned with that, and I guess there's also it's not a coincidence that the 2 teams left in the NFC are from that NFC West that was the best conference in football.
The 2, really, and then even in the AFC, the AFC West was pretty good all year. It's pretty competitive, and obviously the Chiefs are there. So I just it's I'm not stunned by these teams left. And obviously the NFC North is the most competitive. Every game is competitive. You're playing these competitive games all season long, and then, you get in the playoffs and you're used to winning and playing tight games.
Yeah. Hey, go to howtobet.com again. You on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Absolutely free. Nobody will ever ask you for any money here. So, yes, hit that subscribe button, like button, notification bell. Then go down, leave comments, ask for merchandise. Go down a little further to the description box. Click on those links. That's where you're going to find Sean, the Genius Miller's previews at howtobet.com. Injury reports, odds updates, and exclusive offers to sportsbooks around the country. We do appreciate you watching. We know you have a ton of options, so we do appreciate you watching and listening to us on howtobet.com. Remember, bet with your head, not with your heart. Don't go over your means. If you have or think you have a gambling problem, there is help out there, including 1-800-GAMBLER. When we come back, we're going to break down these two games that are left here in the NFC AFC. We'll do it all after this. How to bet, go to howtobet.com.
Let's go.
And we're back with How to Bet, hosted by Daryl Fine and Sean Miller.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to HowToBet.com or HowToBet.com podcast. I'm Daryl Fine along with Sean, the Genius Miller. And Sean, we're going to break down these two games here that are remaining. Two of these teams will go to the Super Bowl, and I guess there are a couple surprises to me in there, because I thought the Packers were going to win it. I really did. They did not play well. So the Packers are out. I was wrong. But we will break down these two games. Remember to go to howtobet.com. Go to you watching on YouTube. Leave comments. If you want merchandise, ask for merchandise. We'll get it out to you. Comments can be good. They can be bad. We could deal with it, and helps us get a little better if they're not so great all the time. Also, go down the description box. Click on those links. That's where you're going to find Sean, the Genius Miller's previews, updated injury reports, odds, and exclusive offers to various sports books around the country. Get there early and often. There's a lot of great promotions out there. They're giving away some free money at times. So take advantage of that. And as I always say, if you have a gambling problem or think you do, get help. There's plenty of help out there, including 1-800-GAMBLER. So, Sean, there are two games remaining. AFC, you have Kansas City and Cincinnati. NFC, you have the NFC West teams, San Francisco at the Rams. Now, I know the Rams are trying to keep San Francisco fans from getting in by buying tickets, but on these secondary markets, you're not going to be able to stop them. They're going to get there, and last time they played, it seemed like they were playing. It sounded like they were playing in San Francisco.
Yeah, it was half and half, I think, probably. And, how many Rams fans are there, to be honest? In Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a weird sports town.
So the Rams have the chance to, for what we know, they are hosting the NFC Championship. They also could be hosting the Super Bowl. So that's a rare, never done before situation for the Rams if they can get this win.
Yeah, and this would be the second. It never happened before, and then this will be the second time in a row if a team.
But never has a team hosted the AFC or the conference championship and then the Super Bowl. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. All right, so Kansas City -7 home against Cincinnati. This one is a Cincinnati team is on the up. They've been playing well. I was surprised how well they played defensively last week, and it was a banged up front. They took care of Tannehill. They took care of they held Henry in check for the most part. So I was a little surprised at that, and it's obviously everybody knows how good they are offensively. So Kansas City -7, is that total too many for you? Is that too many points to give away?
No. This is the fourth straight year that Kansas City is going to host this game. Not just play in the AFC Championship, host. Yeah. Which means that they've had one of the best records in football every year for 4 years. What's the one thing that's been so that's the one constant. Do you know that every single year they've played a different team?
That's that, yeah.
They played the Patriots. They lost in overtime to the Patriots. They beat the Titans. They beat the Bills last year, and then they're going to play the Bengals. So, these other teams, the Bills are on the rise. The Bengals are on the rise. The Titans are on the rise. The Patriots have Tom Brady. Like, they just play, and it's the same. The Kansas City is, they're close to, they lost in overtime.
Because their quarterback, even though
he's unbelievable.
Well, even though he didn't have his greatest season, he's unbelievable. When it came down to playoff time, he doesn't get frazzled. He's just cool as could be. He could throw from every different angle imaginable. He can run. They thought they had him. Boom, gone. So that is really the difference maker there.
Look, just think, look at this quarterback. Quarterback rating, or you can do these numbers and stuff like this. But quarterback rating since December 12th, the Raiders game, 139.2, 105.8, 135.1, 113.9, 93.9, 138.8 in the playoffs, 123.1 in the playoffs, 378 yards, 3 touchdowns, 404 yards, 5 touchdowns in the playoffs. The guy's unbelievable, unstoppable. He can't stop this guy.
No, he really can't.
Joe Burrow's gonna have to go.
Hey, give him credit. He was on the floor a lot last week.
Yeah. No, he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's the next star. But once again, Josh Allen's a star. But they got past him 2 years in a row. Mahomes is he's a winner. Last year in the Super Bowl, I just think they were so beat up, and they just got the line, and they fixed all that stuff. I don't see how you can make a point here for Cincinnati. I know they just beat them, but Kansas City's not losing this game at home.
So you go -7. Kansas City -7 here in this one. 7, it seems like it could be a lot of points, but I have to agree with you here. I'm going to go with Kansas City. Cincinnati, good season. Definitely a team that is up and coming, and Joe Burrow is terrific, and he's going to be terrific as long as he stays healthy. So, yes, I'm going to go with Kansas City -7 as well. In this one, I just think they're too tough. Who do you stop? How do you stop? Kelsey? We didn't even mention Kelsey.
Who do you stop? Who do you stop on that team?
And you have
How can you double anybody? Because you can't. Their weapons are everywhere.
Even the guys that you don't hear a lot about, Pringle and Hardman, they're all so fast, and I just think it's tough to stop them. And the running game is pretty good. Once they get it started, it's a pretty good running game. So I will also go with Kansas City. Now, the NFC Championship, the Rams are a 3-point favorite at SoFi over San Francisco. How do you see this one?
All right, so I know 6 games in a row, they can't ever win, blah, 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 blah. But I just think, I was asked last night on by the book bets, somebody said that the Chiefs weren't and the Rams, this is going to be a letdown spot in the championship game. A letdown spot in the championship game. So somebody actually went on TV and was talking about this. It's a letdown. How do you let down a game from the Super Bowl? I actually go the other way here. The Rams, they were up 27-3. They did everything but throw the game away.
Yes.
Tom Brady scores to tie it up. If that game goes to overtime, the Rams are done. 100% the Rams are out. And you're going to be talking about the Rams. There was a great meme, the Rams turning into like the Falcons logo, and then they were like, JK. Until those 2 plays. And they won. And you know what? To be honest, like at this point, like no one's even going to remember the collapse now. They're just going to remember Cooper Kupp making 2 unbelievable plays and the field goal. And I think sometimes in those games, it's almost like you get a second life and you're like, you know what? We should be out. Now we're going to be, because the Chiefs, same way. The Chiefs should be out. If the Bills make a stop, they're done. So they're like, you know what? That was our chance. Now we can't take it. So we're going to go, I'm going to go here with the Rams at home. I think the Rams brought all these players in. Von Miller was a beast. Their linebackers are beasts. Aaron Donald's unbelievable. I like the other guy on the outside. They're really good. They brought all these guys, Jalen Ramsey. They brought all these guys, Matthew Stafford. Cooper Kupp is unbelievable. They brought everybody in for this game and for the next game. I just don't think they have a small window. I don't think they're going to let it go. And I just think the Rams are going to win this game at home.
All right, well, so you like the Rams -3. I don't. I think San Francisco, I'm going to take them on the money line, but I certainly will take the 3 points as well. San Francisco has done well against the Rams. Shanahan has game planned nicely. He confused the heck out of Rodgers. If you could confuse Rodgers, I think you can confuse Stafford. I'm sure he's going to come up with things that Stafford hasn't seen him do in the first 2 games. I like their running game. I like Garoppolo's good enough to get this done as long as he's going to make that one mistake. Always does. But if he can just get these short passing games, let Mitchell run, let Samuel run, I think they're going to be fine. He's got Kittle. I will take San Francisco in this one. I'll take +3. I also like them to win the game outright.
Leonard Floyd was the guy I was trying to think of. I mean, the guy, you got Leonard Floyd on one side, you got Von Miller on the other side, and you got Aaron Donald running up the middle. Yeah. I mean, they're freakish athletes. Yeah. I mean,
that's why you're going to see a lot of movement. They're a lot of motion offense. It's what he does. And I think, they know how to beat the Rams. They do it pretty much every time.
Look, I originally, and I'll say this, I originally was on we talked about this Sunday night. I originally was on the 49ers, and then I thought about it for a little bit. I'm a little bit concerned about the injuries. I think that the Trent Williams injury, for me, the offensive tackle, I mean, he's one of the best offensive tackles in the game. Anybody you bring in isn't going to be as good as him. And when now you're going up against Von Miller, who was brought in for this, and Leonard Floyd and Aaron Donald and stuff like that, I just really think this is going to be
fair assessment of this game for sure. And I know there's other bets you can make in this one. You have a couple prop bets, right?
Yeah. Look, we talked about this with Kansas City. I was going to kind of jump in, but I knew we were doing this. I actually think the line was -7. You asked if it was too much for me. The one in the parlay power play. Was the Chiefs -6.5 and over 53.5. That by itself is +255. I like that. I'm going to give you a couple more. I think Chiefs -9.5, +125. And I think I will even go, I think you could take Chiefs -12.5 at +180 and just hope, it's a 7-point game. They score a late touchdown like they did against the Bills last year to make it 38-24. Maybe you get that backdoor cover. And I think, obviously during the game, these live game things, I think it's somewhere where you can kind of look at that and say, all right, maybe I'll take a chance on the Chiefs. If it's whatever, I don't know, if they're up by 7, maybe the line is different. I think that's one thing to look at. I also think, Kansas, I really like the race to whatever points. Obviously I talk about that all the time. And on the How to Bet stories. So I like Kansas City first at 30 points here, -127. In the other game, I think, I like the Rams once again. So I'm going to go Rams first at 20 points.
At -139. So
yeah, definitely.
Couple prop bets for Sean. Hey, remember, you watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Hit the button. Free. You'll never be asked for any money. It's a subscribe. You just subscribe it. But you'll never have to pay a penny to watch us and watch our picks. It's right out there for you. So hit that subscribe button, like button, notification bell. Go down, leave comments. Go down further, the description box. Click those links. That's where you're going to find Sean the Genius Miller's previews at HowToBet.com, along with injury updates, odds updates, and exclusive offers to various sports books around the country. When we come back, we'll do our over-unders, some player prop bets coming up, and the odds to win the championship. All after this. How to Bet. Go to HowToBet.com.
Stay tuned.
Let's take it back to How to Bet, hosted by gambling masterminds Daryl Fine and Sean Miller.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to How to Bet. Go to HowToBet.com, our podcast with me, Daryl Fine, and he, Sean Miller, the genius. right here at HowToBet.com. And remember to go leave comments. You watching on YouTube, leave comments. Ask for merchandise. We have merchandise, hats, shirts, giveaway, water bottles. We got it all. And then go down a little further to the description box. Click on those links. That's where you're going to find Sean the Genius Miller's previews, updated injury reports, odds, and exclusive offers from various sports books around the country. Great promotions. So go to howtobet.com. And Sean, it is time for our over-unders, and then we're going to come out with some player prop bets for this weekend. And the over-unders, you go first with your over-unders on these two games. Well, first, let me tell everybody, the Cincinnati at Kansas City game, 54.5, over or under?
Over.
You're going to go over 54.5. You think there'll be a lot of points scored. There were some points scored last time these two teams played, no?
Yeah, 34-31. I just think there's going to be points. Kansas City scored 31, 35, and 38 points in the AFC Championship games the last 2 years.
They're on
so
a roll right now.
They're going to score some points.
After everybody was asking during the regular season, what's wrong with them, and then they didn't have a great offensive year for them because they've been so great over the last few years, but they certainly have turned it on in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's too, like, sometimes, like, I just remember seeing this with, like, Denver. That's the year they went. They won the Super Bowl, and then they started 13-0, and they lost to the Giants, and they were just rolling teams. But they were doing it so easy. But I think sometimes in the regular season, you see these teams, and then it doesn't matter.
Lack of focus a little bit.
It's almost like I think you see it more in the NBA. Like it just doesn't matter until you get to the playoffs, and then it's just like the Rockets. The year the year after they won, they finished sixth, and everybody's like, "What's wrong with the Rockets?" And they just rolled in the playoffs.
I agree.
These guys. You knew Mahomes was going to be ready to go when it's time, and Tyreek Hill and all these guys. So I like the over here.
I will agree with you. I'm going to go over 54.5. I just can't. I think it's a high number. I'm a little worried about it, but I don't think you can go under when these two teams are playing. Their offenses are just too good.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though Burrow hit the deck a lot last week, I don't think that will be the case this week. Certainly not 9 times. I don't think he'll go unscathed, but I don't think he'll be under as much pressure this week. Game number 2, San Francisco at Los Angeles. I'll go first on this one, Sean. This might well, if you listen to the beginning of the show, I think it's going to be
shocking for both of our picks.
Yeah, I'm going to go over 46. I think there'll be points scored here. There is some history between these two teams. They do go over this number more often than not. I'm going to go over 46. I think San Francisco will be able to get some things done. LA, Cooper Kupp is uncoverable. So Higbee's been terrific, tight end. Jefferson's getting enough done. They lost Robert Woods early in the season. I'm a little confused why they didn't use Sony Michel a little more last week, especially with Akers' fumble problems. Akers, I do like him, but he wasn't great last week, and then of course he coughed the ball up. So I think maybe we'll see a little more Sony Michel. But all in all, I think this game goes over the 46.
Are you sure my pick is correct? I'm looking at what is written here, but
yeah, I mean you're usually an over guy, but
yeah, I guess I picked the under here.
In the pre-meeting, you went.
I guess I went the under.
Yeah. Under 46.
Yeah, I'm a little. Once again, I'm a little concerned about the Trent Williams injury, the Deebo Samuel injury, and Jeff Wilson. Obviously, someone will run the ball, but. I just think this has a 27-17, which would take it just under 20, something like that. Maybe 24-14. I just don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I don't know why. I think the Rams are going to score some points. I don't know. It's weird. I never take the under.
You're allowed to go under.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't take it. I just see it. I think this is going to be low scoring. I think I've watched the 49ers defense kind of slow people down, and I know they're going to have some issues. the Rams are going to do some stuff, but I also think the Rams defense is playing very well now, and I think they're going to be able to shut some of these players down.
All right, well, that's interesting. I'm so we differ on that. It's okay. It's good. And then either way, I do expect 2 good games this week. I don't know if we could top last weekend, but there should be 2 good games this week.
Was that the best week of football ever?
Yeah, I can't ever remember anything.
Every game was close.
Yeah,
man,
field goal.
It's interesting when you look at
3 field goals in an overtime.
You look on Reddit and you talk about people who say that the NFL is a little bit it's entertainment and stuff, and might be.
Well, it was entertaining, that's for sure.
Yeah, everything. There was a lot of eyes glued to it. I know right now the ratings are through the roof for the NFL. So
love the NFL.
but way more. I mean, the ratings are way up from last year.
Yeah.
So obviously the eyes on that.
All right, so let's go to some player props for this game. So everybody knows when I'm talking player props, I am a fantasy league champion once again. So I just want to take out my credentials when I'm talking player props. I'm going to take out my credentials.
Is it like you got to pick a team every week?
I lost 25 to 30. I lost about 28 pounds. This thing still doesn't fit. I don't know who they made this for, but I still can't get it around my waist. This thing, I don't know. I don't think it was really meant for an adult.
It doesn't look like an official belt, to be honest.
Well, how much you want them to put into it? It's a little fantasy land.
I thought maybe they were going to be North America and South America, Europe and Africa. How many players do you have playing from Africa and South America? It's interesting.
Worldwide, the world.
My man Lucas out. Hey, by the way, I got my man Lucas out in Poland. He's been watching the show and betting on the stuff.
Lucas, right here, baby. I beat people from
my
Poland,
man Fraggles,
all over the world.
Fraggles, I think he's in Birmingham. I know he's
that's
in
Alabama.
Crapstonville. No, Birmingham. Yeah, England.
Gotcha. I just wanted to verify
all the guys.
Right.
It's interesting because from the Twitter, we have a lot of guys that have been watching the show.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Too.
So if I don't get you, just the guys, all the guys, Danny in Ireland, all the guys in the group chat on Twitter.
We appreciate every single one of you. Steven, all of you. We appreciate everyone.
Jamie, he's a big Toronto Maple Leafs fan. These guys are big hockey fans.
Is he from Canada or where's he from?
No, he's from England.
My favorite jersey, if you were in Canada, it would have said sweater. My favorite hockey jersey is the white with the blue maple leaf. It's always been my favorite. I love it. To me, it's a clean.
The guy McGay, who's in Africa watching it as well. So Duke, Ballard is there. You got the guy Lucas.
I beat you.
And my guy Joe out in Vancouver. So these guys all watch the show every week. So I wanted to make sure I said something to them.
All right, well, there you have it. Let's go with some player props. Okay. Sean, run me off some player props that you like.
Yeah, look, I mean, Cooper Kupp to score and the Rams to win is plus 145. Obviously, I took the Rams, so and Cooper Kupp's obviously going to score. He's got 18 touchdowns this year. I like the both overs in the quarterbacks in the AFC game. The ones you're talking
281.5 for Burrow, 284.5 for
I'll be honest,
for
Mahomes probably gets that by halftime.
Last time you said something like that, I laughed, but it actually did happen.
Yeah, that was the Chargers. That game was crazy.
Yeah.
I think if you can bet the total for the first half there, I think you can do that. I like Stafford. I think over. I think he's going to be able to throw some yards. Any kind of Cooper Kupp receiving yards.
I have to put this in there. Go ahead.
Cooper Kupp receiving yards obviously is worth it. I'm going to stay away from Samuel just because I'm not sure how he's going to do. If you want to go with any 3 players to score a touchdown, George Kittle, Cooper Kupp. Let's see as we do it here. They won't let me pick that. How about that? They're trying to
eliminate
take it
some
away.
of that. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe Odell Beckham.
Yeah. Forgot to
plus 725.
That's good. It's good.
I might take that. Yeah, I'm gonna. There's a lot of opportunities for these prop bets, and I think we always talk about the lines for the games and the over under, but to be honest, I mean if you listen to Daryl talk and you listen to me talk, a lot of a lot of our money is made live betting and
prop bets.
Prop bets.
I probably made as much money on player prop bets and live betting that I have on regular straight up. And we have had a hell of a year here at HowToBet.com.
For me, the best bet of the year is just betting heads or tails. You get 50-50.
It is a 50-50 proposition. You're right.
I mean,
and a lot of people do it.
People will say something like this. Well, over 83 and under 83 is 50-50, but it's not. Like there's so many variables that go into it. It's either heads or tails. And before the game's up, before the game even starts, I tails never fails. Before the game starts, I bet tails and I'm up $50 or whatever. I'm up $100, $20, whatever it is, $10. Bet with what you have.
Yep.
So, I just always think that's a good one to do.
Yeah. My player props, I'm going to, as we said, I like Burrow over 281.5, Mahomes 284.5. I just think it's an aerial game. I am also going, as much as I do like Burrow to go over that total, I am also going with Joe Mixon over 57.5 rushing yards. He has really not been a huge part of this rushing game for Cincinnati lately, but I do think they have to try to keep the ball out of Mahomes' hand, and they're going to try to run the ball a little more. So I'm going to go over 57.5 with Joe Mixon. I'm going to go under. I'm going to switch games and go under Cam Akers 60.5. I did not like what I saw last week. I think Sony Michel gets a little more action. I'm going under 60.5 rushing yards for Cam Akers.
Do you think he gets the start?
I do think he gets the start.
Okay.
But I'm going to go under 60.5 for Cam Akers. And plus, I think San Francisco will do a good job against him either way. And I will go, as I said before, as part of my Parlay Power Play, over 55.5 receiving yards for Deebo Samuel. So they are my player props for this week. And let's take a look at the updated odds to win this thing. This is to go the distance. Kansas City plus 125, the Rams at plus 200, San Francisco at plus 450, and Cincinnati plus 750. I really can't make a play case for Cincinnati at this point. I just don't think they could beat Kansas City this week. But I can make a case for San Francisco, and I think there's value there. I'm going to put, I've already put money down on San Francisco plus the 450 to win this thing. I really do think they can. If they get past this, I really can make a case for them. I just think it's good value, so I'm going to put some shekels down on San Francisco plus 450.
I already got the Chiefs at 16 to 1 plus 1,600, so I keep that. Probably put a little bit more. Plus 125. It's still still plus money, but I just, for me, I only see the Rams winning it, or because obviously if they get through the two teams, I would take the Rams, but I wouldn't even. I just think Kansas City's going to win. I think I'm just going to leave what I have at plus 1,600 and just maybe, if they get to the Super Bowl, maybe hedge it or something. But, I might not even do that. I just think they're the best team.
Hey, thanks for joining us again this week. Remember, you watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Please hit that subscribe button, notification bell, the like button. Go down, leave comments, ask for merchandise. We'll give it out to you. And, of course, go down a little further to the description box, click it on. That's where you're going to find the previews at HowToBet.com. Sean the Genius Miller's previews, updated injury report, odds, and, of course, exclusive offers to various sports books around the country. Our thanks to our producer, Trey the Nerd Wright, graphics, Drew Jacobacci. Yeah, you're a nerd. But I love you, but you know. Drew Jacobacci, Kaylee.
He's excited because we're going to start talking about hockey or some other.
Kaylee Edinger.
What else you listen to? Quidditch?
Oh, boy.
NASCAR. But I will say, so you did mention that your favorite jersey was the Toronto Maple Leafs. How can you not love the holy flannel sweater of the Montreal Canadiens?
I didn't say I didn't. I do, but
how can that not be your favorite?
Can I have a favorite? No, it's the white.
I like the Whalers old ones, man. Yes. The green and blue.
Yeah, but yeah, I like the white. What are you arguing?
The old school jerseys were cool, man.
Do I tell you what the like? No, graphics, Kaylee Edinger, we appreciate you. Lauren Nance doing the editing. Of course, Carter Zajac with our director, and really a superhero as always, Emily Catt, our director. Do it all. She does everything, and she really helped us out today. Well, because you don't know this, but we had some technical problems. But yes, we you won't even know it.
What are we on our 7th hour?
Yeah, 7th hour. Yes, it's a marathon here today, and hopefully everything came out right. But thanks to all of them. It takes a lot. They're really more important than us. It takes a lot to get this on the air, so we do thank you all. Again, thanks. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We appreciate that. We will see you next week. We're back at it next week. It'll be an off week for the football, but we have a lot to talk about, special guests. So we'll do it all next week. Go to HowToBet.com. Get there now.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to How to Bet, hosted by Daryl Fine and Sean Miller. For more information about betting guides, online gambling, betting odds, including NFL betting lines and odds, go to HowToBet.com. Watch all How to Bet podcasts on YouTube. And to access all How to Bet podcasts, go to 1077thebronx.com/HowToBet.